So the answer is probably no. The question we're going to be asking today is, does Metallica really need to keep making new music? Before we get into that though, today's video is sponsored by today's drink, the Vanilla Wendy's Frosty Chino. So it's really bad. So I guess before we talk about Metallica, we need to first discuss who Metallica is and their origins and all that fun stuff. We're gonna look up the wiki because wiki's never wrong. Ever since my boy Graham Hartman's been monitoring it, it's never wrong pretty much, so it's cool. Metallica is an American heavy metal thrash band. So basically, I'm gonna cut this down because wiki is being kind of dumb. So once upon a time, James Hetfield was, I think, like 6 years old. He met Lars Ulrich, who was about 4 years old, and Lars didn't actually know how to play the drums. He doesn't actually know how to play the drums to this day. So then they got together, and then they met this one guy. His name was Dave Mustaine, and then they kicked out Dave Mustaine, but he outdrank them all. He was too baller. Dave had that dog in him. And by had that dog, I mean he actually like kicked dogs. Dave Mustaine was too much for James, Lars, and the Ron guy. And they got rid of Dave. And then they got Kirk Hammett, and Kirk Hammett kind of really played all of Dave Mustaine's solos on Kill 'Em All pretty bad, but it's okay. And ever since then, the rest is history, and they're the biggest metal band all the time, and they make tons of money. The question of whether or not they should retire comes from the fact that they just put out a new album called 72 Seasons, and it debatably has some of their weakest material of all time. I can see the Metallica fans getting mad at me now. I can hear him just seething in the comments. How can you say that about Metallica? James Hetfield has sounded the best he's ever on here. Lars Ulrich is playing to his ultimate ability on here. He's pretty much in Justice for All. Kirk Hammett sounds as good as ever. And Rob, he's in the band. Okay, so James may sound good on here. I'm not going to argue that. I actually think he does sound pretty good. There's no argument there. That being said though, I mean, he probably would sound good with a budget and a whole studio behind him and a producer that he's worked with before. It makes sense. And Lars, are you serious? The drums on this album, I really don't like. And not necessarily drum parts. I mean, I don't like the drum parts either. But I mean the sound of the drums. The production on them is just awful. Like, the kick sound sucks. It's like too loud. And I know that's like, well, come on, Justice for All is pretty bad drum production, among other things production-wise. But that album's killer. You know why? Because they're young and the songwriting was what it was. Production on this album is just doing them no favors. I'm sorry. Just not very good. And Kirk, man, if I could get paid millions of dollars to sit and go, broke a string playing Kirk Hammett. I hate this guy. I don't actually hate Kirk Hammett. I think Kirk Hammett would be my best friend if I was going to be friends with any of the Metallica members. It's also saying something. I have no friends. I mean, I think Kirk Hammett sounds pretty lazy on here, but I mean, he kind of has been for like the last 2 decades, so like, who's surprised? I didn't say he was a bad guy. I just said the solos kind of suck, that's all. And Rob is definitely here. He's definitely somewhere on this album. Now, actually, Rob, when he can be heard on the album like usual, is pretty good. I mean, he's got moments, for sure. But you can barely hear him most of the time, so it's like, who cares? It makes me wonder if we really need Metallica to make new music. Because I don't think they do. I don't think they need a new album to warrant them touring all the time. You know why? Because they're Metallica. And they've been a legacy act forever. Even if people don't want to admit it. After probably around the time when Hardwired came out, they were a legacy act. Probably even before that. They don't really need a reason to tour, other than the fact that they're Metallica. I don't really think we need more singles or anything by them. And I know people are probably like, you can't tell the band to make new material and not make new material. And you hold fair point. I don't really care. I also don't have to listen to it or think they should make music if I don't want to listen to their music or think they should make music. So I just don't think Metallica has the same presence as they once did. Say maybe, I don't know, maybe it was because I was younger when Hardwired came out. I was only like 10 years old, and it felt like Metallica was still like untouchable. Maybe it's because, I'm 17 now. It's just not as the case anymore because I like other things now and I just have a different perspective. I just don't know if they need to make new music because, they already have so many classics. No one's gonna argue with 80s Metallica. Over the years, Black Album has its defenders. Black Album has more than its defenders. It's a good record, okay? I don't necessarily love radio rock, but I think Black Album is pretty good. I don't care. And Load and Reload might not be the greatest works of songwriting ever by Metallica, but I don't think they're really that bad either. They're not like super metal, and that's okay, Unless you want metal, then I guess you're probably pretty sad. And then Saint Anger it's an album for sure. And, I think they have so much already behind them. I don't know if the boys really need to make more music. I don't even think Metallica inspires anymore like they used to. I just don't. I don't think there's any riffs or even solo licks in these new songs that are gonna make a kid want to pick up guitar or anything. Not to say that there was necessarily that on Hardwired, although I do remember learning the title track because it's just all I don't know. I just am not sure if Metallica needs to make new music. That being said, I'm not sure Megadeth does either, but I guess that's probably a topic for a whole other video. Today's video was sponsored by the candies that Sweetwater sends you. Seriously though, what is with Sweetwater and their candies? This is some of the cheapest, most child support candy of all time. We got Bit of Honey, Lemon Fruit Chew, got Dad's Root Beer, really lines up with the child support. We got a peppermint, I actually like peppermints. We got one of those fireballs in here. This is made by a sadist, okay? No one actually eats any of those candies. Sweetwater, your customer service is cool and all. I really like when Jim Bob tells me he likes my band, because we really need that support. But I don't really need the candy, guys. It's not that good. If you enjoyed this video and you want to subscribe for more content like this, then you should definitely hit the subscribe button and hit that like button, because I really need some help. I don't know what I'm doing after high school. And remember, folks, keep on keeping on.